Good morning. Happy Thursday, AP Review Group. Hey, first thing, I don't know how much you're reaching out to each other, keeping in contact with each other, but not everybody's been able to keep up on this. This is, I guess, we've been through 3 days of this now, and there's still some that haven't done a whole lot, and I've not heard from, and I'm not pressuring them because I know some people are working crazy hours and stuff. So um, if you are, in touch with any of your classmates that are part of this, and I'll run through the list again. Let's see, it's Daniel and Lydia and Jake and Mitchell and Nick and Luke and Ian. So you just might be in touch. Say, hey, are you doing the AP review and how's it going and that kind of stuff? Because I know the AP classroom stuff is new and I haven't heard that people are struggling getting into that, but it's just, there's a lot to do, obviously, and it's actually, I never have time to do pure review. So it's actually a luxury in a way to just do review. Now, of course, I'd rather be doing it with you in the classroom, but this is more than we'd be getting, to be quite frank. So, maybe this, even though the test itself is going to be quite different than what I'm used to, I still feel like, you stand a chance if you work well to do fine on it, get your credit. In a way, you're sort of competing against other people because the way they break down the scores is they try to take about the top 25% roughly and call those scores fives. So, if you can be in that stack or even the next 25%, you still get a 4, and that's probably good enough to get credit. So, now today's topic is a little different. So this is something that is very uniquely Physics C. If you watch this video, sometimes the people will talk about the other physics AP classes. There's some non-calc based physics that is also AP, and they do a lot of the same material, but this one, because it's very calc oriented, is strictly for us. Now, I take a different approach to these problems. This is the one involving differential equations. So I showed you a little bit at the end of the first semester because I knew it would be on the exam, but I usually wait until the very end, right before the AP test, and I spend some time because by then a lot of people have seen it in calculus class. So we talked a little bit about what it is, and in today's video, he actually does a really nice job of going over it. But here's the difference between my approach and Mr. Frensley's approach, who's the guy that makes the video. He spends a ton of time solving the differential equation because sometimes on the exam they'll say, solve this differential equation. But I've never, ever suggested that my students spend time actually solving it. So literally, I would tell them to skip that part of the exam because typically it's a time crunch, and I'm like, it takes so much time to solve those things that it's not worth it. I mean, you'll be earning more points doing something else. So on this year's exam, I promise you, you will not have to solve it. The only thing you have to be able to do probably is to be able to set up the differential equation, which is really the easy part, and to be able to maybe draw some graphs. So you can kind of reason your way through that stuff without knowing anything about actual solving of differential equations. Because that's something that just takes a lot of practice. And then you have to remember all these log rules and exponent rules and stuff, and it is not worth it. So, I mean, if you know all the other stuff and you want to do it, okay, that's fine, but I wouldn't spend a lot of time dealing with that stuff. So on the segments on the video, you notice how I give you little parts to watch. I really don't recommend you watch the whole thing because it's like an hour. The parts that I chopped out, a lot of that was him actually showing the solution. So he shows 3 like super common examples. The most common examples, I'm not sure I've seen much else besides that. So I think I picked 1 or 2 of them. But by the time you chop out all the part where he's solving it, it's really not much of the video that you have to see. So it might be worth it to look at the other problems just to see how they get set up and then skip the solution part. Focus on graphs, focus on how to actually write the differential equation, because typically, if you can do that, you've earned almost all the points you need to earn for that problem. So, okay, so do your little pre-assessment in AP Classroom, see how that goes. You're probably, I'm going to guess on this one, you're probably going to say, ooh, I'm not as strong in that as maybe I was on the kinematics and Newton's laws and stuff. So go ahead and watch the segments of the video that I suggest. And then there's some extra optional practice where you can look at old AP tests and see like, okay, how did they set this problem up this year? How did they put a little twist on it? Did they put it on an inclined plane, or did they use a different letter here? It's actually the same physics, just looks a little different. So I think that's going to be helpful today. So, oh my golly, this has gone on for 5.5 minutes. So I've got to chop it off here. So be in touch with the Google Meet or email, or however you need to get a hold of me if you need any help. I'm happy to give you a little mini lecture on this stuff myself. I love this stuff. So just reach out. Don't think you're bothering me. You're why I'm here. I'm hanging around my computer just waiting for somebody to ask me for a nudge. So don't hesitate. All right. Have yourselves a good day. Bye-bye.